That is right, Lauren. School is almost out, which means you're probably looking for fun activities to do with your family this summer. You don't have to travel too far, just across the border to see all of the fun to be had with our neighbors to the north. And of course, we're talking about Toronto. We're joined via Skype with Andrew Weir, Vice President of Communications with Toronto Tourism. Andrew, thank you for joining us today. You know, we're so close to Toronto, and it's such a major city with so many great things that we thought it would be great to check in with you to talk about how families can get off to do a little bit of a zip trip. Let's start off with something that families will love, and we're talking about animals. We have the Ripley's Aquarium. What's going on there?
Well, Ripley's, it just opened in the fall. It's I had a chance to go and see it. I took my kids. It's a wonderful experience. My kids said the jellyfish room was their favorite. There's a whole room with 10 different tanks of jellyfish, and they change colors. But you know, most people, it's the shark tank that you go through, and you're kind of on a moving sidewalk. You go through, and it's longer than you think. It actually takes 22 minutes to go through on the moving sidewalk. So the aquarium has been a big hit for kids, for adults too. You know, they've said a lot of adults, date night, people are going to the aquarium. So that's new. This is the first summer that it's been open.
Lauren, we are back with Andrew Weir, of the Vice President of the Toronto Tourism. Now, we're doing this interview by phone. I have to say, we're going to get this interview even if we have to do it by text message. Thank you for joining us again, Andrew. You're just about to talk about the zoo. Now, when we're talking about animals in Toronto, this is one of the major places, right?
It is. Well, it's good to be back with you, Matt. So the zoo has, of course, the giant pandas that are now in their second year at the zoo. They're here for a 5-year run. They've also introduced a new zip line over the Arctic tundra trek area. So that's very cool this year and new. Other places to see animals around town, of course, as well. We've got at the Royal Ontario Museum, of course, they're all stuffed there. But you can see historic animals that are extinct and all kinds of different ones there. So lots of ways to experience animals, even down on the waterfront Causeway for all the dog and cat pet lovers.
And we've been to the Toronto Zoo before. You can find that information on our website, and they'll be joining us at the end of June. Now, we want to turn it on to one of the major attractions in Toronto, and that is the CN Tower. What can people that are visiting Toronto experience here?
Well, the CN Tower is, you know, it's kind of the exclamation point on the skyline, and if you haven't been up in a while, it's worth going, partly just because of the changes around Toronto. So to be able to get that view and see how much the city has changed, you can kind of wave to Niagara, and you can even see the outline of Rochester, not quite Buffalo from the top of the tower, but there's also Edgewalk. You know, I don't know how many people are up for it or not. It's a pretty amazing experience if you're.
Yeah, we're looking at pictures of the Edgewalk right now on our screen. Tell me a little bit about what people are doing, because they're pretty extreme-looking photographs.
Yeah, you know, you're not walking on a razor's edge. It's about a 5-foot wide, kind of like walking on a sidewalk, except that there's no railing and it's about a 1,000-foot drop. So you're tethered pretty tightly, and you're in there pretty securely. There's not a lot of slack, but they really get you. The guides are very good because they get you leaning out and doing things that you say on the way up, oh, I'm never going to do that. And you do it because they're well trained, they know what they're doing, and of course it's very safe, and it's really an amazing experience. It's quiet up there. You can see the city, but you don't hear the sounds. You don't hear the cars honking. So I imagine it's a lot like being on a mountaintop and having this peaceful experience, and it's half an hour, so you really get a chance to enjoy it up there.
All right, our last thing that we want to talk about is great for those history buffs out there, because Toronto is filled with some great architecture. We're talking about Casa Loma. We don't have a lot of time, so can you quickly give me a rundown of what this is?
Well, Casa Loma is a great castle. It's coming up on 100 years old. It was built by one man to his wife. Makes all the rest of us husbands look bad. But my highlight that I'm going to point out for you is the tunnel. Find the secret underground passage. It's 800 feet long that connects the castle and the stables, and that is the best tip I can give you.
All right, well, thank you so much, Andrew, for joining us. And really, going to another country is so easy right here in Buffalo. All you need is your passport or your enhanced license, and you can enjoy the whole world of Toronto